Welcome everyone to the ScienceOpen webinar on next generation services for journal publishing. I'm going to start out today telling you a little bit about the ScienceOpen platform and what we can offer journal publishers. So ScienceOpen, at our core, we are a discovery platform with over 73 million records for articles, books, and chapters. How we've built the platform, we aggregate content from a few large open access sources. So CALO, Archive, the PubMed Central Open Access data subset, and directly from our publisher customers. Whenever a new article comes into the platform, we analyze the references. If we've seen that article before, we increase the citation index. If not, we go to Crossref and pull in the publicly available metadata for that article and create a new record on the platform. We have over that an interactive overlay so that researchers, authors, and editors can interact with the content, write lay summaries, create topical collections, recommend, share, and review content on the site. And I think what's particularly unique about ScienceOpen is our business model, which is providing services to publishers that are really embedded in that discovery platform. We offer a whole range of services from discovery, so promotion, author marketing tools, through metadata services. So for publishers who need help depositing DOIs at Crossref, sending article level metadata to DOAJ, the Directory of Open Access Journals, or sending content to other places. So we have services built up around that. We also provide open access hosting for a number of journals and even full publishing solutions. So just to give you an overview, those are the services that I would like to quickly touch on today. So this is what the platform looks like. Sort of, it's the meat and potatoes of ScienceOpen. If you go onto the ScienceOpen platform at www.scienceopen.com and just click on the green search button, you can access all of the features that I'm talking about today, explore them yourselves. There's no requirements for registration. There's no costs involved. So you can see if you put in a search term, you have a whole range of filters that you can apply. You can say, show me only open access, show me only articles with where the author is affiliated with the University in Jakarta. You can sort that content by altmetric score, by citation number, by usage, by date, to give you different sort possibilities. We work with the data from altmetric.com. The citation numbers on ScienceOpen are the citations that we've seen in our own database. So we've built really our own citation index. So those may vary from the citations that are being tracked by Google Scholar or being tracked by Scopus. You can also see in the search field that we highlight content by collection. And that's what I would like to talk to you about today for your journals. So ScienceOpen is really, we try to provide a contextualized environment for every article and every journal. And you can see here on the article landing page, we have a whole range of metrics across the top, and we link back to the version of record at the publisher webpage via this big green Read at Publisher button. And you can also see at the bottom, we add a banner for related collections to every article page, and those point readers to potential other collections of content that could be useful to them. we use the keyword cloud from all of the content in the collection in order to promote it to a wider audience. So those are features that are really built into the platform that you can leverage by promoting your journal with a collection on ScienceOpen. So this is to give you an idea of what one of those collections look like. We really like to use, talk about discovery in terms of these collections on the platform. There's different ways you can approach curation beyond the journal. You can create a collection that is pulling together content from a number of journals, or only a selection of content. You can put together multiple journals in a collection, like this collection on biodiversity that we created for Pensoft. And one of the newest features on the platform that we're really excited about is that you can integrate this collection directly into your website, so that if somebody clicks on any of these articles using all of the search tools, all of the powerful filters that we built, if anyone clicks on any of these links, it will take them directly to that article on your webpage. So this is a way to get to both use all of those curation tools on the ScienceOpen platform, use all of those powerful filters and discovery tools, but really embed that directly on your website. And this can be used for lots of different kinds of collections, for either direct journal collections or topical collections that pull together content from lots of different sources and on different topics. Beyond the journal page, as we like to think about it, ScienceOpen provides a more user-centric view of your content that really lets your top articles shine. So with this example here from the Pan-African Medical Journal, you can see they have 8,000 publications. That's a lot to scroll through. And on their website, they also have that content in folders around volume and issue that make it hard for users to both ask questions like, what's the, show me all of the orthopedic surgery content in this journal, and what's the highest cited among those. So with this journal collection on ScienceOpen, this journal is able to really make that content of their journal more discoverable, both on the ScienceOpen platform and beyond. And on every one of the collections on ScienceOpen, we have a full suite of usage statistics. So you can just click on the statistics button on any collection and explore how often that collection is updated, how often is that collection shared, used, what is the usage, the development of the usage numbers on that collection. The next service that I would love to talk to you about is our hosting service. So with our discovery services, we are always linking back to the publisher version of record on the publisher website. With the hosting service, we are really creating a space within this discovery environment for the version of record for your content. So we're really your content's literal home on the internet. Just to run through quickly the services that are included in that open access hosting. So we have a PDF preview pane or an HTML display of your full XML, so your full text content on the platform. We have PDF and XML download buttons. We do deposit the DOI at Crossref with the richest metadata possible. We update those records on a regular basis. For example, if your user comes to ScienceOpen and claims authorship with their ORCID, we'll add that ORCID to the Crossref record. We also, for our hosting customers, offer long-term archiving with clocks. We have indexing, of course, in the ScienceOpen discovery environment, but we also give content special Google Scholar meta tags in our sitemap for easy indexing in the Google Scholar database. We also deposit full article metadata to the DOAJ if your journal has been accepted. And as well, we can deliver metadata and full text to Dimensions, PubMed, WorldCat, and other ANI services. And as well, we have a transparent metrics bar for all of your readers and full usage reports for the editors. So we have something that looks on ScienceOpen quite a bit like a journal landing page. So you can see here, you have a whole series of metrics across the top, and as well some tabs that give you space to present your journal to readers and to potential authors. You can embed your Twitter feed, and you can see here we have a submit a manuscript button, and this submit manuscript button either leads to your submission system outside of ScienceOpen. So if you're working with Scholar One, you're working with Editorial Manager, you are accepting email, you're accepting submissions by email. We will just click to your instructions to authors and hopefully send potential authors for you. This is also an important feature of our discovery services as well. On all collections on ScienceOpen, you can add a submit a manuscript button and put a link behind that, and we'll let you know how many people have clicked on that manuscript submission button. For hosted content on the site, I showed you an example of the Pan-African Medical Journal, where they had the goal to sort of break out of that volume and issue structure. But of course, if you are fully hosting on ScienceOpen, you're going to need some way to show your content in volume and issues. So we do have a narrow by volume filter that we show in the facets on the journal, and as well on every article page, we use that metadata to create an interactive table of contents to encourage browsing. So if I'm on this article page, I can see everything else that's been published in that issue. Sometimes those might be quite unrelated articles, and sometimes you have a special topical issue where you really would like to point readers to a particular order of the content. And every journal really is, you know, a very mostly covering a pretty narrow topical selection. So those articles issue articles can be a good way for readers to discover new content. We also have the possibility to use our interlocking collection system to create dynamic and flexible special issues that could potentially go back over years and pull together content from previous volumes and issues to create dynamic virtual collections that cover much more than just your new call for papers, but show the kind of context that would appear in. The for our customers who are not currently using a manuscript submission or peer review management system outside of the platform, we also offer publishing tools that journal editors can use to build up their journal within the ScienceOpen platform. So for example, we can now help you to start and manage a new journal or even an established journal with a traditional blinded peer review system on the platform. We have a simple configurable manuscript submission system and form that is pretty standard. Every author, I think, will easily recognize this kind of a system where they can upload their content for evaluation by the editors and by peer reviewers. Editors can edit the author-generated metadata at any point in the process, which can be actually quite helpful if your authors have a spelling mistake in the abstract and things like that. Then we have a system built into the ScienceOpen platform where the editors can invite reviewers. So either looking for researchers who are registered on the ScienceOpen platform or searching for similar articles within the 73 million on the platform to get ideas for potential reviewers, or just simply inviting somebody with an email address. And then we provide a peer review management dashboard with automated notifications that can support your peer review system. Once an article is accepted, then we also have a further copy edit workflow that we can add on after that can help you if you're doing some self-publishing, that can support that with a number of tools so that you can create your own PDFs and upload those into the system. And after publication, really anybody on the platform can review the article or invite someone to review the article. So we have really the same overlay for peer review across the entire platform. And we worked very, very hard with a number of experts from peer review, authors, editors, reviewers to come up with those, to come up with some pretty universal questions for that peer review process to make it comparable across the entire site. But the one thing that we really are specialized in, that we care about very much, is open peer review. So I think we really are one of the few platforms, if you're thinking about starting a journal with an open peer review workflow, if you're thinking about flipping a journal to an open peer review workflow based on publishing a preprint, reviewing that in the open, making an editorial decision, and then publishing the final article. We really have some great tools baked into the platform, and we've done a lot of work together with the University College London Press on their open publishing platform called UCL Open Environment to create and develop this further. You can see that working with open review and reviewing preprints is also requires article versioning and a whole lot of technical infrastructure. Here's an example of what that looks like in on the platform. And we also, in this open peer review process, we have room for really a dialogue between the author and the peer reviewers to really get that whole discussion out into the open. And of course, if you're doing peer review in the open, you want to have those peer review reports discoverable, searchable. We have over 300 open article reviews. You can explore those on the ScienceOpen platform. We really do have best practice integration with Crossref, with ORCID. So all of those peer review reports get a special Crossref DOI that links the peer review report to the article, and we do require an ORCID from every reviewer. We require them to review with their full name and their ORCID ID. So the good news there is that we have really then a direct integration with ORCID. To wrap it up, and so I have some time to answer your questions, I just wanted to point out a few of the interactive author features. As I said, we've got this interactive layer, and I would just like to highlight 3 of them: collections, reviews, and lay summaries. On ScienceOpen, the reviewer-curated collections is a free service for researchers. They can apply to be an editor on ScienceOpen, so we can provide them with some support in getting them started. And they can pull together the best research in their field to share as an interactive reading list, as a living review. So there's a lot of different ways that researchers are using this, this tool on the platform. You can see here, we have some that are a kind of a best of list here, 213 publications on renewable energy. We also have some researcher-curated collections that are more comprehensive bibliography. This one's, I think, at 14,000 records now. And every collection, both featured and researcher-led collections, we're always showing the overlap between the other collections in the facets menu on the left-hand side. Authors and editors, if they register on ScienceOpen and add their publication list via ORCID, can track their usage and their impact, see how many people have read their work on ScienceOpen. They can follow those statistics from their profile. To promote their own work, they can write a lay summary on the ScienceOpen platform. In this way, they provide us with more text and words that we can use for our recommendation engine to make better suggestions for similar content, and with more text for the search engine, these articles also show up in more searches. So these are actually, it can be a pretty powerful tool. So if a researcher has written a lay summary, or even just has an article on ScienceOpen that doesn't have an abstract, they can add more metadata to that record in order to get better discoverability. And I said I would talk about reviews, open reviews, but I just touched on that a minute ago, so you have an idea. This is another way that researchers can interact with the platform. So we have ScienceOpen has been around now for almost 8 years. We are promoting over 300 featured collections for over 50 customers. And we would love to have you join us if you have a journal and you need any kind of services, from discovery all the way through to full publishing solutions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I will answer. There's a few questions in the Q&A, so I will answer those now. Suyuki M. Noor asks, please explain the steps to create a link of our results searching from ScienceOpen to your website. So how we actually do that from that green publisher button linking back to your website is we usually use the DOI. So since most of the content coming into Science Open is coming in from because it's been cited, because it's been requested by a researcher, because it's added to their profile. So most of the content that's coming in to the site is being redirected via DOI to the URL that you've deposited with that DOI at Crossref. So that's the main way that we send users to your content. If you don't have Crossref DOIs, if you have only other DOIJ or other PubMed links, we can also use those. And if we work directly with the customer, we can add those links as part of the XML. So there's different ways that we can set that up. If you're just looking for the content that's coming into Science Open sort of as part of our aggregation, those we're mostly using the DOI. And if you're thinking about how can we get our content into Science Open, we have a lot of different ways that we can work with you to make that happen. There's another question by an anonymous attendee asking if it's possible to send the search results of articles on ScienceOpen.com to the researcher's email. Yes, absolutely there is. And I can, I could just show you that on the live site. Just one moment. If you do a search on Science Open for, let's say, nanowire that has been indexed in Science Open in the last, let's say, 2 weeks, then you can export, you can share this search, so you can send this to yourself as an email, or we wanted to do this, or you can export this as citations, so you can get this sent as an email with an Excel sheet sent to your email account when you're registered on the platform. Are there any other questions? It looks like there's no more questions. So I would like to thank everybody for joining me today just for this whirlwind tour of Science Open's services for journal publishers. And if you have any questions after this, then please get in touch with me, Stephanie Dawson, stephanie.dawson@scienceopen.com, or on any of our social media channels. And I would be very happy to set up an appointment with you to look at your journal in particular and make a quote for you, and work on the pricing of our services with you. So thanks a lot. There will be a recording of this email. There will be a recording of this webinar made and will be sent to everybody after the webinar. So thanks everyone, and have a great day.